Hey guys, Jessica Coulter here, and we're going to be talking about goals today, short-term and long-term. So if you have any goals, whatever they might be, school-related, personal-related, or maybe professional, something at work, let me know this message is relevant to you. Just tap that like or heart button for me. Before we jump into all of that, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jessica Coulter, and I am the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. I work with students in the 3rd grade and beyond, all the way up through adults in grad school. I have 3 specialties: ACT prep, essay writing or proofreading, and middle school math. So I help with more than those 3 subjects, but those are my niches, my specialties. So let's jump into this idea of goals. So the first idea here is what is a short-term goal? What is a long-term goal? Well, if I want to, if we go school-related here, if I want to be valedictorian, that's my long-term goal. So a short-term goal would be passing English, or it would maybe even shorter would be passing tomorrow's test. So long-term goal can take a week, several weeks, maybe a few years to achieve, whereas a short-term goal is exactly what it sounds like, short-term. So something that's going to be achieved much quicker and probably a much shorter amount of time. So if you are struggling with some goals, you've got goals in mind, if you want to leave them in the comments, you're welcome to. But if you want to come up with a plan, a successful plan that's going to help you achieve those goals, or maybe your child's goals for the school year or something else, then I would love to talk to you. My phone number for Ace Cookie Tutoring is in the description. It's 913-938-6344. So I'd love to talk to you and help you figure out how you're going to make those goals happen. So now that we know what the difference between short-term and long-term goals are, let's go ahead and talk about kind of which one matters more and how you go about actually making these happen. So I can't really say this is good or this is bad when it comes to short-term and long-term, but what I can tell you is that if you focus just on the long-term, that is a great kind of steering force that's going to help you decide what you're aiming for. It's going to kind of give you a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. But if you don't have short-term goals to lead you to the long-term goal, that long-term goal is going to seem pretty impossible. So if we go back to the idea of being valedictorian. Okay, so that's what I was in high school. And I knew that meant getting A's in all of my classes and having the best GPA possible. I had to have a better GPA than all of my classmates. Well, my short-term goals were to get A's in every class every year. Okay, so I went from 4th grade through 12th grade knowing I had to have a 4.0. Yeah, so that was short-term goal number 1, is to know for every year I had to get an A. And then I broke that down even farther, going, okay, well, the year is made up of 2 semesters, so smaller time, shorter time, and each semester is broken up into quarters, okay? So then I had to decide, okay, how do I get an A each quarter, so I in turn get A's each semester, in turn getting A's each year, okay? So that is how I would break a long-term goal down into short-term goals. I mean, I know that's kind of still very broad, so depending on what your goals are, we might have to attack it from a different direction. So I just want to kind of check in, see if we're enjoying the video. If we are, great. If you're getting something out of it, even better. Make sure you tap that like or heart button for me. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you're on LinkedIn, make sure we're connected. So here we go. Let's talk about one more thing when it comes to long-term goals and short-term goals. If you have heard of instant gratification, you might immediately go to short-term goals. So that's something I would warn you against. Is unfortunately, you feel really, really great when you get that A on your test, or you turn in your homework and it's the first time you've done it for a while and you get a really good grade. You're going to feel amazing, you're going to feel proud of yourself. And unfortunately, that feeling doesn't last very long, and unfortunately it doesn't mean a lot in the long run. You've got to keep turning in your homework. You've got to keep studying for tests in order to meet that long-term goal of passing the class or getting a certain GPA or just never taking that class again, whatever your goal is. So when it comes to short-term goals, definitely make sure they're achievable, make sure you feel good about achieving them and accomplishing them, but don't let them distract from the overall picture of whatever the long-term goal is. So instant gratification, unfortunately, is something a lot of us fall for, so you've got to be conscientious of that. Now, another idea I want to talk about, I'm not going to go into much detail, I'll save it for another video, but the idea of SMART goals. So S-M-A-R-T. So each letter stands for something, okay? And like I said, we'll go into more details in another video. But do know when you're creating your goals and deciding what those are, this is something we'll talk about in our phone call, is think about SMART and what each letter stands for, okay? And apply those concepts to your long-term goals. So I'm going to leave that as a little teaser for you. Give me a call if you want some help with your goal plan. You know, if you want some help figuring out what your goals should be, if you're a little confused, or maybe just a plan to make those goals a reality. So phone number 913-938-6344. So I look forward to talking to you guys on the phone so I can help you make those goals a reality. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.